So I am on my way to my only appointment of the day. Been able to spend the morning in the office, coming back to the office for the afternoon, which is good because I got a ton of stuff to catch up on after being out last week. And thank you, Tim Cernit, for being the first official commenter on this new series we're putting up on YouTube. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Really good feedback and got me thinking even more about the stuff we posted yesterday. So if you want to leave a comment, you can do that below. And you can watch me drive now. This is my neighborhood. Is a great place for lunch. Never heard of it before. Just went there today. This is the very unglamorous part of having a home office. You have to go to the post office when that one client wants you to mail something. Not exactly the way I want to be spending my afternoon. This is the moment where I figured out what I'm going to talk about on today's video. So it just happened. I'm sharing the moment with you as I'm driving down the road on my way back from lunch in the post office. But I have a topic, so I'm pretty excited about that. This is my pathetic faucet that started this whole thing. Say cheese. Say cheese. Alright, so you've seen my water faucet, my water pressure problem that I have. So I had lunch with a guy today, good friend of mine. We ate at this good restaurant. I've never been to this restaurant before. It's a pleasant surprise. And as we were talking, he owns a lot of rental property, and we were talking about how I don't feel like I'm cut out to be a landlord because of all these problems I had when I was a landlord with a tenant in a rental house, and it's just not what I want to do anymore. And the thought occurred to me, my water pressure problem. And so I asked him, I'm like, do you know a good plumber that could help me with my water pressure? And he said, as a matter of fact, I do. I know this guy, and he's really good, and he's fairly priced, and he's just got his general contractor's license, so whatever you pretty much need, he's going to be able to take care of. And so the really good news is I have this recommendation for a plumber, and I have had this water pressure problem for months, like possibly a year. And why haven't I called somebody yet? Well, because I don't know anybody. I don't know a plumber to call to come out and fix the problem. Well, I can go on the internet and I can do a search for plumbers in my area and I can get a list, 50 plumbers long. Why haven't I done that? And that's what I was thinking about when I was driving back from the post office is, why is it that I waited for a specific recommendation to be able to call somebody and take action on this? What's up? So, yeah, if you got one. So, so I was thinking about why is it that I haven't taken action yet, and I think one of the big things is it's not a product. Like products, I don't need somebody's recommendation to go buy a product. If I see a product, I like a product, I might do a little bit of research, but generally, if there's a product out there, I'm just going to go buy it. But if it's a service, there's something about a service that I want the referral. Why do I want the referral? Well, if I knew that it was going to be delivered the same every single time, like if I had a robot to come fix the faucet, then I probably would have done that a long time ago. But I didn't because it could be different every time the service is performed. And so I started thinking, well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that when we buy services, it's unique. There's something different about every service experience. And so I was thinking about that, and I thought, well, is that's making it all about me. Like I'm concerned that I'm going to get the best service, or that it's going to be I don't know how to think about this, but it was like what I realized is the recommendation isn't just for me. Yes, I want to know a good plumber because I want to know that when they come to my house, they're not going to screw something up. But in general, I mean, plumbers are plumbers. Yeah, I know that it's a broad generalization, but it's like CPAs. You know, if you do tax returns, there's a certain base level of skill, performance that you have to have. But beyond that, there's not huge levels of distinction in the technical competency. And that's the thing with this plumbing thing. Like any decent plumber is going to be able to come fix my problem. So why am I so hung up on getting a recommendation? Because the vast majority of plumbers out there, if I just play the odds, they're going to be able to come fix my problem. And I realized a good chunk of why I want the referral is not for me, it's for the plumber. I want to be able to call somebody and say, John sent me to you, and you do a lot of work for John, and I want you to do some really good work for me, because I don't want you to tick off John. Like I want you to be worried about the fact that if you do a bad job for me, I might go back to John and say, hey, you didn't do such a great job for me. And that was an interesting twist on why we want the referrals. A lot of times the referral isn't for the person who's receiving the service. The referral is there to put the person who's going to deliver the service on notice that, hey, there's more than one vested party in this. And it's not just me you have to please, it's the person who's referring me to you. So I just thought that was interesting. I had never thought about it that way, but I work in a business where I mean, definitely since we started doing pure consulting work and not tax work, 100% of the people who come to us because they're referred by somebody else. And I know this was probably going on in the back of my head when so-and-so would say, hey, John sent me over here because he said you can help me with my business. And I know that I was thinking, wow, I appreciate John doing that, but now I don't want to let John down and I don't want to let this client down. So I work extra hard. So does this have any practical application for your business? Possibly. It might have application in the way you ask for referrals, but it also might have application in what you do when you receive a referral, because the person who is saying so-and-so referred me is trying to communicate something very specific to you, namely that it's not just them, the one who's asking for your help, that you have to please. You also need to explicitly acknowledge your obligation to the person who gave the referral when you deliver the service, and not let that person down either. So I thought that was an interesting take. Maybe a little long-winded for this, but I'm still getting used to it. If you guys like what you see, please comment. It's a great way for me to get feedback. These things are going to be changing a lot because I'm just getting my feet wet. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you next time.